Hey, y'all, welcome to WWT Live. TK Trinidad here. We have so much to talk about. We're going to be talking about Ronda. We're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about so much. We go into Full Gear, all the things coming up next.
What's up, guys? It's AEW's TBS champion, Kris Statlander, and you are watching Women's Wrestling Talk.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Y'all, yeah, I know we a little late. We a lot late, but it's not me. We're just doing some big things. Big things are happening next week for Women's Wrestling Talk, etc. What up, Bobby? Welcome to WWT Live. I am not alone. My brother from another mother coming back again. I think he likes us. Evan T. Mac, what's good?
Yeah, what up, Bobby? What's going on, man? We got a whole bunch of things to talk about, a whole bunch of wrestling, a whole bunch of collar and elbow.
A whole bunch of things. And I'm wondering, do we make the announcement? Do we save it to drop it? I don't know.
Maybe save with people flooding in. Bobby said, I'm doing great. How are you? I'm doing swell, Bobito. What's going on, man?
Okay, we'll save it. We'll save it.
Yeah.
We'll drop an email and see if we can announce it. But with that being said, let's get into the news. So much going on, and one of the questions is: are you planning on watching Full Gear this weekend?
Yeah, I'll definitely watch. I know you're gonna be there. I'm back on the East Coast right now with the fam, so I'm gonna miss it. Unfortunately, I would have loved it gone. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I would like to watch it just in case Miss Mercedes pulls up. It could be a little Mercedes action. I'm just hoping Mercedes pulls up. The female division needs a shot in the arm after losing Jade Cargill, in my personal opinion.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I said the same thing. I think it was Monday or Friday or something like that. I feel like if I were Tony Khan, you just lost Jade. And, you wanted to keep her. It wasn't like you let the contract expire and whatever, and WWE just had a better offering. I can't speak for Mercedes, nor can you, but I think we can safely assume that she's not going to WWE anytime soon. So, for the money, and Tony Khan said he did throw Jade a lot of money. So for the money, and if Mercedes can make up how she wants her contract to look like, which I think she's in a position to do so, it's definitely possible. And I don't want to be dropping names, but the last time Mercedes was at AEW in London, he was with our mutual friend Kevin Undergaro, and they be out here.
They do, and I'm telling you, I've had a couple conversations with Mr. Kevin Undergaro about that. He would not reveal anything about Full Gear. He's just saying things are cooking, and that's all I needed to hear. And we'll see. Bobby says I agree. AEW should get Mercedes money. Yeah, listen, Bobby, because man, because no disrespect to Jade Cargill, she is not Sasha Banks. She is not Mercedes Moné. I'm telling you, it took me a long time to realize the power of that woman. And I told you, I forget what event that was, whatever her last WrestleMania was. I was in that crowd. I was like, oh my God. I said Sasha Banks is the most over female wrestler I've ever seen in my life. Like, seriously, that crowd was so loud. When I heard the men and women cheering for Sasha Banks when that music dropped, I said, there is no one with more star power than that woman. So whenever it's going on, if she happens to be there at Full Gear, it'll be the biggest sign that they've done in a long, long time, because she is one of the best in the business, and it'll be great. Yo, what up, Bosa?
Hey, Bosa. Yeah, can you imagine? We can get to it too. Can you imagine Mercedes against Kris Statlander,
Toni,
Saray, like Ruby? Now you're going back to the. There's so much excitement with that, and I think
I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's what I'm just hoping. Like, you asked about Full Gear, I'm hoping. Put it like this. I'm literally tuning into Full Gear. There's some good matches too. Yo, what up, Eddie? Maria in charge of AEW. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Why not? You always want good wrestling minds that care about the product, care about the female division. You want people that are going to do right by the women there. What up, Eric?
Right. And here's the thing, answering Bosa. So Bosa saying, hey, the real TK, thank you. And Evan, the thing is, I'm worried that the fake TK wouldn't know what to do with Mercedes. And here is what I'm saying with Mercedes. If she does get signed and she has enough, because I feel like she has enough pull, and we had this conversation on Monday, where she can dictate what she wants in her contract. And if I were her, just seeing how the AEW women's division is being booked right now, I'd want either autonomy and or power to help book the women's division where I'm concerned. Yes. So I wouldn't just sign and say, all right, I'll take your money, do whatever you want. Like that would be the caveat in my contract, because you have the power to do so. Or I'd be like, nah, I'm cool. I can go anywhere else. She can go back to New Japan.
If she did a flexibility contract, that's good. If she did a workout contract, but I'm just talking about the star power. A lot of people don't even know how this woman got into Star Wars. If you were listening to her tell the story about how she got into Star Wars, Jon Favreau saw this girl eating wings on Hot Ones and put her in Star Wars. It wasn't even in the ring. This girl is such a superstar that when she pulls up for a wing show, he made a character. Like this woman is a superstar at the highest order, and everyone likes Jade because she's like a statuesque. She looks like Storm in real life. Do you know what kind of star you have to be tiny like Mercedes and be that big of a draw? Like she's like a regular sized woman, but she looks like, I'm not joking. We were Lord have mercy. We were walking. It was in Texas. Last WrestleMania was Texas, and she hit the hallway in the daytime in the morning. She hit the hallway with one of the handlers. I said, Heidi, look at her. She looked like $1 million. $1 million walking by. She looks like a superhero. For real, man. Toni, make the right decision. Yo, Christy, what's up?
Hey, Christy. So do you want to kind of go down this is not even what I had in the notes, but do you want to go through Full Gear, or you want to stick to the news we have?
Long as there's not 57 matches. What are they, like 10?
Yeah, it's it does get kind of long. So we have 0 Hour, which is me, MJF, Mystery Partner, and the Guns. So that's going to be the World Tag Team Championship, ROH World Tag Team Championship. Then we have AEW World Tag Team Championships, the Young Bucks versus the Golden Jets. Then we have the TBS Championship 3-way match, Kris Statlander, Julia, and Sky Blue. The Texas Death Match, the Hangman Adam Page and Swerve. This one, we were talking about this man. I really wish that, I don't wish, but because I feel like we would get, I in particular would get fined and canceled on all sorts of things. But I was really wishing that people, we could tape all the pre-show stuff before we actually air, because we be having conversations. But the promo that Hangman did on Dynamite, crazy. And then, with them doing the Revolver yesterday and him doing the entrance, oh my God, like that was insane in itself. So who do you have for this particular match?
Like I said, I like that was the best. To me, that was best. Adam Page's best promo of his entire career. As a black man, I will not call anybody Hangman. I ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. Until this dude change his damn name. I always call this man Adam Page. Ain't no Negro on here calling this dude no Hangman. That man's name is Adam Page. That's what his name is. But with that being said, listen, he came out and cut a promo so much so that they didn't even let Swerve, Isaiah, Mr. Scott, Strickland say anything. And listen, Texas death match don't make sense to Evan Mack unless it's in Texas. I don't give a damn. You can do anything you want. When you say a Texas death match, I'm not gonna pop for it. But with all that being said, to me, I've said it to you before, Swerve could be AEW champion. And I do believe he should be the next person to be AEW champion because he's just been doing so much work. So that means by definition, Adam Page cannot win this. He cannot win this match. He can't do it.
I mean, feel like the buildup for Swerve is just definitely like it's his time, but I don't know. I feel like they might have something else. So Toni has said on multiple occasions that he's the one who kind of writes the stories, books, all this other things. And I think with particular people, in particularly, and now I'm not going to say Hangman anymore either. And Swerve, I feel
That's just my rule.
he has a vested interest in this storyline. Because let's be honest, it's kind of almost like, forget the writing of the book of storyline. It's just thinking about reading, right? You can only read so many books and keep all the storylines. So he can only write so much and keep a vested interest. He can't keep a vested interest in all the storylines. That's why you should have more writers and bookers.
I agree. So yeah. I was listening to Jericho talk about that. Jericho was talking about how he likes the fact that there's not a team of writers. It's really good clip. I like the fact there's not a lot of team writers. I like that we don't have a whole bunch of people we got to run things by. And the way he explained that, I agree. But I do believe there needs to be a few dedicated writers, maybe to each wrestler, maybe somebody that someone trusts, like that can write stuff for them. because I'm a firm believer in there's no way there's a restaurant that's good at Italian, Chinese, Mexican. You know what I mean? Oh
my God, sorry about that.
Yeah, let's just say it again. Say it again.
I have a story about that.
Yeah, so with that being said, Toni, I think not a team of writers, because WWE has like 50 writers and 70% of them don't know nothing about wrestling. So to me, that's a bad thing. But Toni, as much as I respect Toni does not know that much about wrestling as he thinks he does. He don't.
Hot take.
He don't. I told you, I'm a big Toni fan. I always say I'm a big fan of him, but I see a lot of Attitude Era stuff in his work. A lot. I already know what he's a fan of. If he was on this show right now, I'd be like, bro, you love the Attitude Era, don't you? But damn, so he needs to pass it not to a team, but to a few, like a trusted panel, panel of writers. How about that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Bosa, you right? $50 is a lot, Bosa. Damn. Listen, and that's another thing. We passed this pay-per-view foolishness. Well, ain't nobody trying to pay $50 no more. We done with this? Toni, you got a football team, you got an American football team. Can you get a streaming service? Ain't nobody trying to pay no $50 for no pay-per-view. That's 90s foolishness.
Oh my gosh. So Bosa, for folks who are listening, I think $50 is a lot, especially if the goal is to do 12 pay-per-views in the future. I think he is looking at a streaming service eventually. I think that's in the works. That's $600 plus taxes. Here is, and I love giving the tea to some folks. Yes, that is $600 plus taxes. And if you are a diehard fan and you are paying that $50, here's what you should do. Go and set yourself up a DBA. It costs $50. Go to your local courthouse, set yourself up a DBA. It costs $50. And if you love wrestling that much, you are watching wrestling to the extent where you are now tweeting about it, all this other stuff. Your business now is you are a figurehead of wrestling. That is the business. Then when you go and write your taxes, you take out all the $600+ of taxes, everything that you flew, the food that you ate to get to the event, all that stuff. You put that all together. You get yourself a real good tax person, and you say, "This is my side hustle. This is my business. I am not making any money on this business this year." You have up to 5 years to be in the red. I'm not making any money on this business. Now you can write off that $600 instead of just going and paying $600. Look, I'm just saying, it is what it is. You can take my advice. You could take my advice. You don't have to take my advice.
Erwin R. Shyster over here. Some tax advice.
I look, you have to operate like some, I am fortunate enough that I have some really great mentors, and they put me up on games. So now I'm passing on the game. You can take it, or you can just continue spending your $600 and don't get any return for your money. And that's okay. That is all.
Take it. Yo, Eddie James. Eddie James says Swerve's been bulking up to be world champ. Yeah, and I don't even think he needed to do it though, Eddie. But I'm with you on that. There's nothing wrong with who's going to argue with somebody putting themselves in a physical condition to look the part. Like I said, the reason why I say he could be AEW world champion is just because of the work he's been doing. The constant trying to do different things at the Mogul Embassy and getting Prince Nana over, and Prince Nana getting himself over. And the thing about the Swerve that gets overlooked, he's very self-assured, but one thing that gets overlooked, he is one of the best I've ever seen in the ring. Truly. He is a master in that ring. I never go as far as saying WWE dropped the ball on him. WWE is always in search of characters, and if they don't know what character you are, they tend to lose faith. So I think it's a combination of a couple things. But I do believe he is due for AEW title run for sure, because I'll say it's what I've said before and I'll say it again. I don't even care if he thinks it's not happening. MJF is not going. He is going to WWE as sure as I'm sitting here. It's happening. I don't even know if he knows it, but it's happening. He cannot resist. That man is going to the E. I promise you, he's going to WWE. Promise.
You think it's going to be a situation like, and this is, so if you guys are watching the screen below us, so this will happen with PW Revolver, which I didn't get to see the news, whether or not, and I'm sure you might know, Bosa, because the whole stipulation was they couldn't lay hands on each other until Full Gear, and if they did, then the match would be canceled. However, this wasn't AEW sanctioned, so does that still count? So we'll see. But with that being said, as far as the MJF of it all, do you think it's going to be a situation like Jade where WWE offers MJF an amount of money that he can't refuse, and the fake TK can't combat that? It's like, look, you can offer me as much money as you want. At the end of the day, there's a difference between Universal and Disney. Disney will always be.
I really think the money is not even part of the option. I think it's that. I think it's the people he can go against, and I think it's the WrestleMania moment that every true wrestling fan always wants. And I believe that's going to take over MJ. I don't care if he's on record saying that dude's going to the E, man. He's going to the E. You know how close he is with Cody Rhodes? They're very close.
And it's not like he can actually, and this is kind of the whole suspense of belief type thing too. It's not like he can actually say, yeah, I'm planning on going to WWE. Like, he can't say that. Like, just like Jade probably knew when I interviewed her over the summer that she was going to WWE, but she wasn't going to tell me, and nobody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was good. That's a conversation that her and Toni are going to have. So, at the end of the day, everybody's going to play their part. So it might be Toni might not know that MJF is having these conversations, or he might know that MJF is having the conversation, is trying to swing him a certain way, but he's not going to let us know that. Like, that's.
I will say this. A lot of AEW wrestlers, I believe that too, Bobby. I do. A lot of AEW wrestlers signed a whole bunch of deals these past few months. A whole bunch of them, whole bunch of re-signs. Who didn't re-sign them? Okay, why not re-sign? Why not?
There it is. Okay. Well, I mean, a place that MJF is definitely not going to go into, and this is not a laughing matter, this is also a business thing as it is. NWA, man, a lot of things are happening. Essentially, there's going to be a lot of budget cuts as far as NWA is concerned. It's going to be going down to the bare bones because Billy has just been spending a lot of money and not getting a ROI, a return on his investment. So what do you think is going to happen with NWA?
Nothing I respect more than anybody that tries to create a wrestling promotion. I hold it in high regard. It's very hard to do because I'll hold on with the Shadow Ranger. Toni will have to deal with the fact that everyone on his roster grew up watching WWE, and their dream when they began training was that's what I always say to people. Shadow Ranger, anybody that argues with me on this, they always miss the fundamental point. And the fundamental point is what you just said. It's unless that didn't happen, unless we've been living, unless I'm wrong and WWE has not been around for 5 decades, like there's a feeling you get when you watch Stone Cold, or there's a feeling you got when you watch Ultimate Warrior that does not leave you, period. It just don't. So my personal opinion, as young as that young man is, and he's so young, I think he'd be foolish not to just take his talents and use that and even have a good run at WWE and maybe go back to AEW. Why not? Why not? But make no mistake, unless I'm tripping, every single wrestler that ever talks about that moment at that WrestleMania moment they all want to have. But to Billy Corgan, the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins, by the way, yo, Billy, can you just do that for me, please? Why can't you be a part of one of my favorite bands? telling me he don't want nobody to mention he would Smashing Pumpkins. Like if you tell he wants to talk wrestling, hey, listen, man, nobody trying to hear that, man. Everybody trying to hear that. The hell are you talking about? That's one of my favorite bands. Now you making me feel weird about liking y'all. Hold on, check it out. So check it out. So I was trying to give flowers, but damn it, seeing that picture got me riled up. But like it's very hard to I respect anyone that creates a wrestling promotion because there's so much that has to go into it, not just your finances. It's you're competing against WWE, but you're trying to kind of keep alive the old territory days by having this kind of the NWA, one of the oldest wrestling organizations ever, and trying to keep things alive. And I always respect that. It's just it's hard to do when you damn right, Eddie James. Tony Khan is the biggest WWE fan in the world. Period. Tony Khan, Tony, boy, I've been want to interview Tony for so long. I'd be like, Tony, how much do you love WWE? Stop playing, man. Stop playing with me, man. But listen, but to NWA, it's never good to me when people have jobs, man. People have jobs, people have lives, not just the wrestlers, the people that work on the show from behind the scenes, from the production side. They have families. Can't everyone always work for two companies? Right. So that's why I always say stop trying to end the WWE, stop trying to end the AEW. If you're a fan of wrestling, you want all your wrestlers to have places to go. Mm-hmm. You want them to have as many promotions to go to make as much money as possible, so everyone else can make money. The more the promotions are making money, the more everyone's making money, the more the crews are making money, and the better wrestling can be. Having just one show in town is not good. It's not good. Right. So it's very, very unfortunate. It really is.
What do you think? Do you think it'll be a case of scaling back and then people will see the scale back and they'll support? Or do you think, NWA is on the verge of like no longer?
Yeah, and that's what bothers me. I always feel if you can't get a deal, a TV deal, a legit TV deal with legit sponsorships, I always feel like you're not long for the world. I do. Like I've noticed a lot of the promotions that last, they have great TV representation. The WWE is always playing chess when everyone's playing checkers. They seen things were going to the streaming route. They created their own streaming service. When they realized Peacock was going out, they made a deal with Peacock where they don't even have to worry about the database anymore. They can just funnel all their stuff there. That was the future. They seen that a mile away. So I always am worried about anybody that self-promoted this, self that. You need that sponsorship, that promotion to get eyes on your product. Will Ospreay recently coined the term TNA Kids. We are only in the first generation of TNA Kids wrestling on TV. Yeah, Will would be doing himself a disservice if he went to TNA, and it's not a knock on TNA. The way he wrestles, he needs to maximize his time because he's way too reckless with his body. So I need him to go somewhere for a few years that's going to maximize his talents. Because he's way too reckless. I don't know. It's just that boy be throwing himself around too damn much.
Yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen with NWA. I mean, it's very
sad.
It is, and it's the nature of business, making certain business decisions, deciding where to put your money. Obviously, marketing is a key factor, like you're saying. Also, TV deals. I don't necessarily think the TV deals is the end all be all.
I agree.
Figuring out the sponsorship of it all, and then also the marketing. Like it's the more eyes like you can have. I know there, and I don't even know. Let me rewind this. There was a show that I was on. I knew a producer on there. She left that show that was on the network to do a YouTube show that she gets paid more to do, and this guy's making a ridiculous amount on YouTube. And it's more the marketing, the guerrilla marketing that they're doing. I'm seeing the flyers all over the city, stuff like that. So it really just depends on how you choose to get those butts in seats, or those butts watching whatever the program is, and how you do stuff like that. So it's the marketing of it all. But yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen with NWA. I hope it's not gonna go away.
Yeah. To Eddie James's point, Billy Corgan hurt NWA by having Tyrus as a face of the company. Yeah, listen, as a me, I'm an American. I'm like a real American, so I believe there's a place for right wing and left wing and all your thoughts, freedom of speech and whatnot. If you're a real American, then you have to believe in those philosophies. So, but make no mistake, Tyrus running amok and talking to how he talks, that didn't help. that didn't. I can assure you, it didn't help. Even though wrestling is not as liberal as far as people think it is, you know what I mean? Like wrestling predominantly, you know what I mean? Like let's be like historically, it's been questionable. Yeah. But as things are evolving, things change. Because I think there's a place for. But if you're a real American, you gotta entertain left and right. That's what you have to do. If you want to live in this country, you have to entertain both. I do believe that didn't help though, Eddie. I agree. It didn't help.
Well, I mean, it didn't help, but he leaned into it more than that crowd might have supported too. So maybe because I don't know. That's a whole. Yeah, I'm not a real American, so that's a whole. That's
you Canadian, yeah. That's me talking from as a real American that has to deal with like that. That's dad's from the deep South, and I've been. Listen, we got to deal with both sides, man, because you just do. I'm just letting people know, whether right or wrong, you got to be like, all right, I hear what you're saying. I hear you. I don't agree with you, but I hear you.
The Wrestle Grill saying we have to remember that the same conversations were surrounding Impact Wrestling a few years ago. Promotions have peaks and valleys. NWA can make it through if they get it together. Yeah, I remember when I was at AfterBuzz when Impact they were on Pop TV and they lost that deal, and it took a minute for us to find where they were. What up, JD? I remember when that happened, but I feel like I compare Impact to and in a good way. So don't take this.
Yeah. I'm on. Listen.
Like at the end of when the world ends, it's gonna be roaches and the world. And Impact to me is no matter what happens, Impact is always gonna be around. Like that's how I kind of take it. They figured out how to utilize the finances and strategically put it in certain ways. A major asset was getting Trin, and now they got a whole bunch of people who are watching it because of Trinity. And then you add Sonny Kiss to the picture and other people. And not to say the people that were there before them didn't bring in those people, but a certain ilk of people that weren't watching Impact before are now watching Impact because of Trinity, and those are more eyes. So that was a great investment. But before Trinity even came, I mean, they were doing an amazing job, and they've managed to figure out what works for them. Like on a monthly basis, doing tapings every 6 weeks or every 4 weeks, and keeping the cost down instead of doing weekly, and figure out the places travel wise. Like instead of going to Vegas instead of LA, obviously that's a money thing because LA is expensive as what.
Wow.
So it's making those decisions that works for them. So hopefully NWA definitely figures it out. And shout to JD in the chat. That leads us to, this is sad, but great on that level. The Bray Wyatt Legacy collection they just dropped. Will you be buying some shirts, Evan?
It's a cash grab, but I'm gonna say it comes from the right place. Yeah, because it's just really weird that it's even that we're talking about this man not being here anymore. It's so strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rewrite both is wild to me. Like I said, yeah, they're definitely probably gonna buy a shirt. Really, really, really big fan before all the Fiend stuff. Love this original character. Love a wrestler that's true to his convictions, true to his character, and won't compromise for anybody. There's something to be said about a person that doesn't compromise themselves for their character and for their beliefs. And he's always going to be known for that. A guy that stood by his character and stood by his convictions. And it's a shame. But I'll get a shirt.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So Bosa says when WWE said they're going to make sure JoJo was taken care of, they meant it. It's cool. That's what I'm kind of figuring. I'm kind of figuring that they had to fly this back by his family first before they.
Oh yeah, because it feels. I'm telling you, it feels a little cash grabby. So I know they ran it by the family. It's so, it's. I'm always weird about when big corporations do stuff like that. I'm gonna call it like I see it. Like it's all right, but long as you're breaking off JoJo and the family, that's all.
Yeah, And that's a whole, we'll see. But I'm sure if you have the legal stuff, you'll be fine. But that leads us to this. We actually talked about this before with Asuka, not Asuka, Rey Mysterio at the time, and now it's happened to Asuka and a lot of other wrestlers as well. Asuka essentially being accosted. It's not funny, but it's like crazy at the airport. People asking her to sign things, etc. What do you like? I don't know. I mean, how there's a couple questions, and I have a few answers. No, I'm lying. I don't have an answer to that. But like, how do you where she's landing? And then like, I don't know. I can't even.
Yeah, that's that's the wild part. That's the question a lot of people don't talk about. How they get her? How they get the manifest? How they get the flight chart?
This is stuff TMZ does. Like so I'm gonna give you a little bit of tea. So with TMZ, how if you watch the show, you're seeing how we get certain people, and I say I used to be part of them, how they got certain people coming out of the airport. You know that either you're communicating with their publicist or you're getting the memos. Why is my phone blowing up? But it's just kind of like, how do you figure that out? Unless you actually, I guess you kind of backtrack. You go look at the city that they're supposed to be landing in, and then you figure that she'll be in at this time or whatever. I mean, obviously SmackDown's happening, etc. But I thought they weren't allowed to do this. Wasn't there something about this where they weren't supposed to be doing all these, or was it just Rey Mysterio getting on telling people that they shouldn't be doing this? Because the thing is, like, people are making money off of this stuff.
And that's what I don't like, because because the new crop of wrestlers, all the new crop of wrestlers, I'll say about 95 to 98% of them, they're all like class acts. All of them, they're all just classy, respectful, incredible superstars, and they will stay there. They will sign. They will shake hands. They'll kiss babies. They'll take pictures. They'll do whatever you need them to do. And I do believe people are taking advantage of that. I don't. To your point, Eddie, I don't think these wrestlers should have to pay security. You listen. It's not like what you're saying is wrong though. Like what other answer is there? What other answer is there? Because there's a time and a place. Asuka's in her downtime, one of her rare days off, her travel time between going to another show. We know how that goes. We all claim to be wrestling fans, but then we forget fundamental things that we all know, like downtime. And sometimes these people go home for maybe a day just so they can sleep in their own bed, even if it was be beneficial just to go to the next city. Sometimes they take an extra flight to go home, and this could be one of those moments. It's very, very wrong. It's very, very wrong on so many levels. So many levels.
Both are saying, I think this is why.
Absolutely, both are. Absolutely.
If they can avoid it.
Yes.
I mean,
but you can't take a bus. But you can't take a bus everywhere. Look.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about this too. It's like in America, I feel like in order to get to a certain level, there's a couple things that happen. Either you invest in a certain career, like a tech or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, and you can make that one check. But that's a certain ilk of people, right? Or you do business and you're an entrepreneur and you gamble and you get the right combination, because that's what it really is, right? But then you have the rest of us who are just kind of like, I need to make things work, whether it's the Ubers, whether it's, whatever. And, figuring out where to, now I'm kind of thinking from that perspective, right? Not taking the wrestler's feelings into account. Figuring out, okay, this wrestler's landing here. I can bring them 3 or 4. And thankfully, some of these people look like they only have 1 or 2 things. I remember that Rey Mysterio thing. One guy had like 10 things for him to sign.
This dude had 50 things for him to sign.
Right. So figuring out where somebody's landing and now taking some piece of thing that costs maybe $25 and now selling it on eBay for $250.
I will listen. I'll tell you
taking
this.
Your gas time on set, that's like $150 come up.
I'll tell you this. The one person I know can't nobody do that to us is Bobby Lashley. I caught somebody do that to Bobby Lashley. Let me tell you something. So word of advice for anybody listening to this podcast: don't do that to Bobby. I was walking in the hotel lobby and I was walking to just dap him up real quick. I was like, yo, what up, big man? And as I'm dapping him up, it's like a movie. As I'm dapping up, he was like, hey, man, how many times I told you I ain't signing that? I was like, you wait a minute. You asked him again?
Wait, now the story is, did he ask him like within the same day, or did he try to do like a sneaky link where he asked him one day?
It was definitely the same day, because he had like a booklet full of like Topps cards, and he's trying to get all the wrestlers to sign his Topps cards, and he had a binder full, and he was like, hey man, didn't I tell you myself? I was like, you messing up my, see, and I kid you not, and I'm dapping him up, and because he ain't seen, like, I was like, because he don't really know me like that, but he knows me enough. And then now my dap up was all ruined. He was all mad when he dapped me up. he looked at me. He's like, what's up, man? I was like, oh, you messing up my dap, bro. You can't be messing up my dap up.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
and he's
man.
saying people like this make wrestling fans look bad. I mean, yes.
I agree.
I agree, but there's a spectrum for everything. And I don't agree with this. I wouldn't be doing this regardless if I was a part of this genre, meaning like, I cover it and, I'm allowed certain perks of covering it. But even if this was anybody, that's just not my MO. So, I can respect the hustle. But yeah, this is, if you like, and this, I think one of the reasons maybe why younger wrestlers are just signing, because if you don't sign, then you're accused of all things.
You're trending on Twitter. You're trending on Twitter for being a bad person. I'm like, and that's the era we're in. They're afraid of someone being like, Asuka's the worst person. She was rude to me. She said mean things to me. Then it would turn into something else, and then she'll trend.
And all she said was no. Like,
did you see that clip? You see that clip? Did you see that clip of Anthony Mackey?
No.
Anthony Mackey was at a football game, NFL football game. Anthony Mackey, if y'all don't know who that is, that's what's it called. That's new Captain America. One of my favorite actors. He was at a football game, literally vibing. It's like sipping like cognac with a cigar. He's in like full Negro mode. He was like that. That's like he was like a man after my own heart. That was like me at the game. You know what I mean? And he was like in the most Negro mode ever. He was like blowing on the stogie, and this black lady walked up and was like, yo, like, can my grandson get a picture with you? He was like, absolutely not. And she goes, wait, what? It's all on film. He's like, absolutely not. She goes, he can't get a picture. He's like, absolutely not. She goes, oh, for real? He's like, I'm sorry. He goes, thank you. And he just kept watching it. And everyone was like, he's the biggest piece of shit. I go, is he though? I don't know if he is, because
now he takes a picture with the guy with the son smoking the cigar.
Yeah, he works for Disney. He works for Disney. He literally is. It's none of it's illegal, but he literally is like vibing though. Like I went back and forth on it, and I watched it a couple times. I was like, nah, man, he does not owe me that. He does not.
Right.
He don't.
Yeah, that's too, because I think I was watching Young Rock, and I think he was there. There was an episode where he was talking about that. I think somebody interrupted them at dinner, and then he went back, like he learned his lesson. Then he went back, and now he's available to folks. But again, it's one of those things that and this is the degree of personalities that you deal with, right? You have people, and I think Jerry Seinfeld talked about this, and Chris Rock on
Jerry don't play. Jerry don't play.
Getting coffee. And he said comedians are the best people to stop because they are used to dealing with all types of variables, right? So they can handle that. But if you're dealing with somebody who naturally is an introvert, right? But then you see them in the ring all the time, and you think that they're this, and then now you get them in their natural habitat where they're coming from the airport, all they want to do is get home. And now these people are around them. You're going to get that introvert personality because the introvert has to turn it on before you get that. And people don't understand the psyches. And then there's also different levels of introvert, different levels of extroverts, etc. So I don't know. I
always go both ways, TK. Like I try to look. I've lived long enough, and I've been fortunate enough to live long enough to understand. Like, someone asked me, would that have been me? I go, no, I would have took the picture with the kid. That I would have. But
even when you were smoking a cigar.
Yeah, I would have, but I have to be as I get older. I know why Anthony Mackie didn't. I know why he did. I'm gonna send you that video when we get off of this. It was cold blooded, but I'm talking about when I heard it when it happened. I was like, oh, he's like chilling though.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till you see it. You're gonna be like, oh, he don't mess with him right now.
Yeah. But even now for me, because I actually go places, I go to more places without makeup on than with makeup on. For me, I tell people like, yeah, no, because I don't know. Here's the thing. And this sounds super morbid because even at the gym, when they're asking, I went back to my old gym and they're like, we need to take a picture. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll just send you one. What do you mean? It's like, no, I'll just send you. I'll just send you a picture because at the end of the day, and I won't see this, I know it, but when you pass away, they somehow always find the worst picture to use. I don't know how they managed out of all the pictures that you take. They always find the worst picture to use. And for me, how I negate that is like, look, yeah, I'm just, if I'm not feeling my best and I have the option to not take a picture, it's like, yeah, no, I'm not wearing makeup today. Oh, but you look for, I know you might think I look, but I'm not taking, I don't know what to tell you. This is not happening. So, yeah, it's one of those scenarios. I mean, I'm nowhere near the level of Asuka, but I'd rather do a signature than a picture, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But that leads us to yesterday. Everybody was talking about it with Revolver, Ronda Rousey of it all. Did you get to see? I saw a lot of. I have to actually go back and watch the whole match because it was banging through and through. But did you get to see Ronda's match?
I watched a little bit of it, and I was like I said, it was. I'm keep it real with you. I didn't think she wanted to wrestle. You know what I mean? Listen, I was like, damn, I didn't know she still had a taste for it. I know that like kind of WWE universe, it kind of soured her on it. And so I think she just needed to take a step back and then find something else. And she has so much star power. People got to understand, you can say whatever you want to say about Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is the reason why women get paid in UFC, straight up.
Oh, yeah.
She's the reason why women get paid in the UFC what they get paid, because she was the first woman to truly main event that pay-per-view, and to see her do what she do. She's the reason why that triple threat was like a main event at WrestleMania. Ronda Rousey is a legitimate fighting icon. So wherever she goes, she's going to be.
Yeah, that whole pay-per-view was great. This is Masha Slamovich with Jacob Fatu. That was a great match as well. What I'm looking for is there's a clip of Ronda walking out, and I had told Evan this before we got on air, actually earlier today, about that. She looked happy, and she looked happy to the point of when Trin walked out for the first time with Impact. Like, I don't remember, and it could be a combination of things. It could be that she walked out and she's been out of the ring for a long period of time. I don't know. I don't know Ronda like that. But I have read her book, and I feel like I know her a little bit more than the average person who hasn't read her book, but that's neither here nor there. But she looked happy, and it was for charity and all the things. Joseph saying, I'm sure people thought Ronda would stand there and look pretty. I didn't think so. I think she was like legitimately gonna get in the ring and wrestle. A lot of people now are saying that they didn't know that she had that in her. So with that being said, do you think that why do you think we didn't see this Ronda at WWE?
Yeah, like I said, I'm reading the chat, and you saying at first they loved her. I go, no, they embraced her, but they quickly turned on her, and that upset her. So when she came back, she kind of came back with a chip on her shoulder, even when she was like posting tweets about toxic fans. So they kind of soured on her. She kind of soured on them a little bit, and I think she kind of was going through the motions, and and once fans feel, right or wrong, once fans feel like you don't care, then they don't give you a shot, and that's to me what kind of hurt her WWE run. But make no mistake, still WWE champion, still set records, still to me wasn't one of the all-time greats. She did her job. This is what people don't understand. Ronda did her job. Her job was to bring more eyes to the women's division and legitimize the women's division. People don't understand that, and anybody that doesn't really get what she's done for that business, then I can't help you. Ronda Rousey was brought to that company to legitimize women, and she did it. Period. You can say whatever you want to say, but getting punched in the face for a living for more than a decade, that gives you credibility. That gives you credibility. And Ronda Rousey is she's a made woman in WWE, if you ask me.
Bosa saying, I saw her entrance. I think she has always wanted to do the indies, but the moment MMA slammed the door on Ronda, WWE couldn't wait to get her first run. She was learning on the fly. I mean, I don't think MMA shut the door on her. I mean, if you watch that interview that she did at damn, I can't even think of her name. She the lady at 3 p.m. Ellen DeGeneres. If you watch that interview, like her losing, when you win, when you had a streak like Ronda did, and then to lose twice, like she was and is still the face of UFC when you think about it, right? Like if you talk to the average person who doesn't watch UFC all the time, they're automatically going to think Ronda Rousey.
Yep.
So, you know, to have such a streak that she did, I mean, this happened to me too. Like when I came from running track to doing all these things, and then it's like, wait, I'm not getting what I want so quickly. Like it did a number on the psyche. So I don't think UFC necessarily dropped her. It was just
Amanda Nunes, she retired Ronda. That's what happened, like straight up. Like Holly Holmes exposed her a little bit for not having the boxing ability, and then Amanda Nunes closed the door. And listen, and she want to have a kid. Like this, people don't understand. Sometimes when it comes to fighting, man, if you don't, once your psyche realizes you really don't have to fight to live anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen. Listen, I'm telling you, I've seen the greatest fighters of all time. Once they get generational money, they're never the same. They're not. They're just not.
Have you seen George Foreman's movie on Netflix?
Yes.
I had no idea. There was a Foreman before the chunky Foreman. No idea.
Monster. He was a monster. A freaking monster. Like that's my thing though. Like Ronda got beat twice very convincingly. She's like, I think I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm good. There's nothing wrong with that. To the learning on the fly thing. I think there was a point. I think there's some truth to what you're saying. But I think because I think she came in with the jiu-jitsu background. But we all know like to wrestle the wrestling way, the WWE way, it's a learning curve. And the faster you learn that, the faster you learn it is the faster they'll put you on TV. And that's what we'll see with Jade. We'll see how fast Jade can pick up the way WWE teaches you how to wrestle. Because Logan picked it up pretty fast.
Yeah.
Benito picked it up pretty fast.
Eddie saying Ronda also good friends. Yeah, I mean, I think WWE they missed out on the 4 horsewomen for UFC.
Oh, for sure.
That I don't think we're ever gonna get. Like, I think that's a wrap.
That'd have been so dope.
We might get a run in, but we won't get the match that we're looking for. Most are saying Ronda did her job, and I think people hated that because it allegedly forced Mercedes to say shove it. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I know what you're saying though. But like I said, her job was to highlight women. That was the most important thing. That was the most important thing. Mission accomplished.
So with that being said, do you think we're going to see more of Ronda in the indie scene, or do you think this is a one-off? Because this was for charity, by the way. That's why we saw.
I hope she's gotten a taste for it. I hope she's realized that she misses it. I hope. There's nothing wrong with her being an attraction when you're that much of a free agent. Why not like pull up to like an AEW event? Why not pull up to Impact? Why not just and have matches with like a Mickey James or something? You know, why not do that?
We'll see. Well, this brings us to I'm not gonna say it because I'm not gonna put your business out there. Montez Ford and the Street Profits. They said Montez saying that they felt frustrated and stagnated before they aligned with Bobby Lashley. So what do you think of the Street Profits before Bobby and the Street Profits now being part of Bobby?
I'm fine with it. But they're not calling them the Hurt Business. Is that right?
I don't think so. No. I don't think they figured out a name for them just yet. That's the thing.
Listen, so you're just 3 brothers together, huh? Boys are just 3 brothers together, just beat up.
It's been a couple months So it's just like, we're not gonna. That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't understand with tag teams and or you're pairing random people together, and this is besides the Street Profits and Bobby. You have these you put people together and then they come out to two different songs. They're wearing different gear, or eventually they might get the same gear, but they're still coming out with two different songs. And just like, well, what are we doing? Are we committing to this? It's kind of like no shade to the people who've been dating for like 5-10 years. You've been dating 5-10 years, you're living together, you're splitting the bills, all the things. Like, are we getting married or are we not?
What are we doing here, bro?
Is, fun fact too, for those in California, I think it's 7 years, your common law anyway. So if you don't get married, and apparently I learned in Canada it's 1 year. So you might as well just
tie the knot.
Just call it a day. You know, she'll be happy. You might not be happy, but hey, say la vie. Like, you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. So that's my thing with wrestling. It's just like, so what are we doing here? We pretending? Like, what's going on?
Bobby said they teased BFAB joining Bobby Lashley. I said, but to what end though, Bob? That's my thing. To what end? For example, whether people love him or hate him, the Judgment Day's faction has direction.
Oh,
they like, no matter whether you love you hate them, they're going somewhere. You can't just keep grouping people together and having me be like, ooh, they're together. Or like, I don't care. Like when Evolution was together, my favorite faction of all time is Evolution. When they were together, they were bodying people and getting titles. They were like you can't just throw three of my favorites together and then throw BFAB and then to do what? They still be losing. I'm like, what? Look, when the New Day got thrown together, when Xavier Woods came up with this idea, Kofi and them all came up with an idea. Their idea wasn't just to hang out, because they already hang out together. Their job was they were trying to do something. They were trying to make something happen, and they became iconic because they had an idea, they had a plan, they had a direction. I don't feel like people know what they're doing with them. I'm telling you, like these writers ain't fooling me, because I know a lot of them don't watch the product. So these writers, I don't think they know what to do with these brothers. Period.
And the thing too with New Day, then that's the thing. It's kind of like they were able to pitch certain things, and certain things got allowed. And so it's, I think it's a combination, because I don't, I'm sure, I mean, you just said you dap stuff with Bobby, etc. And for you guys who don't know, Evan has been a part of the brand, so he can speak to more than what I can speak to. But it's just kind of like, it feels like, I don't think they don't have any ideas. It's what ideas WWE and the writers decide to take.
I agree with that. That's a better way. That's better put.
Yeah, that's kind of where a lot of that's where a lot of the problems lie. And there's definitely a combination of you can think you have all the ideas, but you don't know how to market them properly. Like, you being a wrestler, it's like, what you need to do in the ring. And then there should be a set of people who know how to do the writing and the producing of it all. And then you kind of come together with those ideas. And sometimes it works out, a la like the Bloodline or Judgment Day. And then sometimes it's just like, no, I don't see your idea, but you haven't come up with something better. And that's kind of, I think, where everybody's at with them, because it's not like they don't have the personality. The personality is there. The wrestling ability is there. It's now just coming up with the right idea. But what I don't hope, there's a couple of things. It's either, again, it kind of goes back to the whole thing. It's like, are you going to keep them together and try to figure it out long term? Or are you going to keep them together and then 2024, it's like almost like it didn't exist? Like, I think of Titus Worldwide. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if they actually pushed that idea a little bit more, we would have a whole faction that we'd be talking about to this day. But they just chose it. Then they just, like, it just died, and then they just like, wait, what? Titus, that didn't exist. I don't know what you're the crazy one.
I hope they got a plan. That's all I'm saying.
That part.
Because remember 5 minutes ago we were talking about Montez being in a singles picture for the title? Remember?
Yes, and everybody was losing their ish. But let's wrap it up with my granny's favorite show. RIP to my granny. Jeopardy.
Classic.
Oh my gosh, Becky Lynch was on Jeopardy. She
She made history in 2 ways.
She made history in 2 ways. She got no. She answered no question. I need to go back and watch this. She got all the questions wrong, which leads me to wonder a couple of things. One, has she never seen Jeopardy before? Because Jeopardy is not for the average person.
No, it's not. If you turn on Jeopardy, you turn it on because you think you were smart enough to answer something.
Right. And so did she watch a couple of episodes and she got those answers right? Or did she just hear it like, how like I used to watch it with my grandmother, but I didn't really, it's just like, we didn't have a lot of TVs. And my grandma had the main TV for that period of time. And that's what we was watching, but I was not really watching it. So did she, and she has a whole vlog on this. So that might answer the questions. I haven't had time, we'd be working. So I don't know. When I saw this, I literally, and this is like a little bit behind the scenes, I literally hit up Xavier. I was like, yo, why did they ask you to be on Jeopardy? Like, because he has like master degrees and shit. So I'm just kind of like,
we talking about she had no damn problem, no damn buzzer. Bozo, you wrestling fans are crazy, but she had no damn problem, no buzzer. See, the first person in history have a problem with the buzzer. You just push the button. Your first,
for all the questions, Bozo?
Like, bro, stop to cut the bullshit. Like Jay, cut the shit, Joseph. But like it's a hard show. I grew up on it. My mother and father, they played against each other. My dad still do. Like, if my dad came over right now, my mom's crib, they play each other right now. Like, so like I watched more than my fair share of Jeopardy. There's different levels of Jeopardy. Regular Jeopardy with the regular people that come on the show is it's hard. They do the college Jeopardy a little easier. Celebrity Jeopardy a little easier. So she was on the show that should have been easier than the other shows. Make no mistake. There's because they don't want you to go in there and look stupid. They don't. They do not. They don't. She needs to be held accountable for this tomfoolishness.
Oh my gosh!
You see what I'm saying? Look, Macaulay Culkin 30. You see what I'm saying? Both look at these numbers, man. Like, so what I'm trying to say is, if we run that show,
they gave me $1,000. Did you see what Bosa said?
A pity.
Oh man!
Here go wrestling fans. Yeah, but it was highly viewed. I go, what the hell that got to do with what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing. On the marketing level, now whoever, like the partnership between WWE, they might bring on another WWE superstar to bring in, because people watch. Because I remember when she posted this, and this is pre-recorded. It wasn't live. I don't think so. So like she knew that, like she didn't.
You see, hold on. See, this is what I'm saying, both. Like, see, this is my problem with wrestling fans. Then you just tell me Macaulay Culkin was on. Y'all stop acting like Becky bought 4.2 million people, please. Raw doesn't even draw 2 million people. See, this is my problem with wrestling fans. The Raw does not even draw 4.2. SmackDown doesn't draw 4.2. So why would Becky coming on Jeopardy draw 4.2? She's part of the reason.
Well,
damn.
Well, it's
Jeopardy's been on the TV for a long time. They get mad viewers.
Yeah, she's like 4.2 viewers with a 0.15 in the key demographic. Last week it was 3.8. So
say that again.
Last week is 3.8.
Yeah, 3.8 million.
And this week was 4.2.
You told me Macaulay, you told me Kevin McAllister was there. I'm tuning in my damn self. You must be crazy.
Oh, well, she made it a note. I now have to go. Maybe we'll do a watch along with this Jeopardy thing to see if we all fail at the questions.
Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. If we watch it and we don't get nothing right.
And clearly, I need to go back to school. For real.
Because if we get on there and we get no question, then I can't say nothing.
Oh my God, we should do that for Twitch.
No, we should.
Evan's like, let me watch it first. If we don't do it,
I will
we both watch it. We both didn't.
I will go into this blind. I told you I watched Jeopardy for a long time. I don't even want that's cheating. My family wouldn't, they would disown me.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, shout out to Becky for making light of it. I'm definitely gonna watch it and watch her blog. It was 0 for 60 clues because the celebrity version is an hour and they had 3 rounds: regular Jeopardy, double Jeopardy, and triple. Wow. Well,
0 for 60. Here you go, wrestler fan. Yo, but she brought in the rating. But did she? Or did everyone? What? Lord have mercy.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. And a celebrity Jeopardy. Oh, well.
Yeah. Celebrity Jeopardy has. I'm not being funny here. Celebrity Jeopardy, they make it a little easier. They do.
Yeah, because this is not what.
So that's why it's even more embarrassing.
Regular Jeopardy, those questions be hard. They be asking.
Regular Jeopardy is out of control.
Yeah,
it's out of control.
Well, all right then. With that being said, I think we all should start watching Jeopardy because the state of society right now is questionable. I love me some wrestling, but maybe we should all watch Jeopardy. It might be required to watch Jeopardy from now on just to get us back to a certain level because maybe some things just whole nother conversation. With that being said, we teased it. And I will tease it again. We will not make the announcement. There is an announcement coming, though, that is happening next week. There's a couple of announcements happening next week and some big news. So you want to keep it locked. You want to keep it locked to WWT, but you also want to keep it locked to Evan T. Mack because I am taking a WWE Superstars way of life of posting and ghosting. So that's going to be my thing. But with that being said, Evan, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, man, Evan T. Mack, yo. Evan T. Mack, all the social platforms. Appreciate all y'all for joining the chat. You guys always make it more interesting and more fun. And I love hearing y'all's perspective as well. Kind of makes the show for me. So appreciate the chat joining for real. Anybody watching Full Gear, enjoy it. TK gonna be at Full Gear, so enjoy.
Yeah, I'm bringing the whole team from work to Full Gear.
Oh, so good. Should be good. Are you gonna stay at the show? Or you going to stay for the whole show?
Yeah, we're staying for the whole yeah, I honestly, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna just make sure I have my charger because it's gonna be a long day, and I don't know what to expect.
7 hour pay-per-view.
and then I mean, shout out to the fake TK. What I can say is when he does the scrums, he answers almost every single question. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that.
But
then it's also like sometimes some of the questions just don't need to be asked. But that's a whole nother.
Yeah, but TK given the platform for people that's this is why you don't ever want an AEW to fail. You don't want places like that to fail. Not an owner that's that accessible. You never want that kind of stuff to fall.
He's kind of like Dana White in the beginning of USC. Because Dana White used to be like that too. I mean, obviously not as accessible as far as the scrums, but I'm lying because there was a point where at one point I was doing a lot more UFC MMA type stuff, and my podcast was getting like nothing, and they were giving out passes for boxing and MMA and stuff like that. So he was accessible to an extent as well. So it is nice to be able to ask those questions, but again, it's kind of like. Not all questions need to be asked.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Both sides. Appreciate y'all, man.
Be interested to see who's signing, who's going to be paying the $50. Look, y'all, go and get yourself a DBA. And it's
FS1 next week. Yeah. It makes sense. College games coming on Friday, taking precedent. Go home shows. Go home shows are never nothing. You can't have any wrestlers getting hurt. So like go home shows are just a little bit of filler. Because we can't be having the superstars get hurt before they go to Chicago. We can't.
Yeah,
we can't do
that part. All right, y'all. Make sure you follow Evan and all the things. You can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. Make sure you follow Women's Wrestling Talk, www.talkpod.com, www.talkpod on all the things. Thank you guys for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. We will be having a post show for Full Gear on Sunday. Keep it locked to the social media for all the shenanigans that may or may not happen tomorrow. I don't know what to expect. But and then definitely keep it up to next week, because boy, it's gonna be fun. All right. Ciao, y'all.